Hi, Amanda, Victoria, and Christina. Can you hear us from the council chambers?
Yes, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. We could hear you. Thank you.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Perfect.
I can hear you. Thank you.
Thanks, Christina.
Good evening, everyone. Oh, I'm all used here. I just would like to. I'm sorry, I wasn't on mute. Good evening, everyone. I would just like to introduce myself. My name is Tina Garza. I'm the Recreation Supervisor for the City of Hollister. And kind of behind the computer, I guess we can say, is our IT Director, Paul Da Silva. So if there's any public comments, if there's any anything for public comment, he'll kind of control that for us. If we can just kind of start off introducing ourselves, and then we will continue on the agenda and nominate a chairperson. So we'll start off with the people that are here inside at the dais.
To turn it on.
Perfect.
They can't hear you.
Hello. Okay. Thank you. I'm Rosalinda Sanchez, and I'm just really happy to be here and be here with all of you. I'm very excited to just get started on this incredible journey. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anthony Rojas. Been living in Hollister for about a year now. Can really appreciate the need for some art and culture around here, so I'm happy to be a part of this little commission and committee, and can't wait to get started.
We'll go ahead and go with Victoria.
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I am Victoria Murray. I am a local artist as well as a teacher artist with the San Benito County Arts Council. And yeah, thank you guys so much.
Christina.
Hi, I'm Christina Ross. I am an art teacher at San Benito High School, and I'm very excited to be a part of this commission. Thank you.
And Amanda.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Amanda Chiato. Also echoing everyone else, I'm very excited to be here and collaborate with all of you and do some exciting work as a community. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Our first point of business is to nominate a chairperson or a vice chair. Is there anyone that it might be interested in either role so that we can continue with our meeting, or if you'd like to nominate someone?
I would like to nominate myself for vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Amanda for chair.
Thank you, Christina.
Is there anyone else?
I'd like to also nominate myself for chair.
Let's begin with Anthony. We just do it publicly, or Paul? We do this publicly? Can we nominate the chair publicly?
We have a nomination in the second.
Okay. Can I get a nomination for Anthony Rojas?
I'll nominate him.
I'd like to second the nomination.
I'm sorry, for Anthony Rojas for a vice chair. Sorry, I'll clarify that. We have a motion by Rosalinda. And who was the second? I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Victoria Murray.
Thank you. We have a motion to elect Anthony Rojas as our vice chair, and we have a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Hi.
Let me go back. I have to do a roll call vote because we're still on Zoom. So I will go Commissioner Sanchez.
Here.
Aye.
What did I say?
Aye or nay?
Sorry.
It's okay. We're all new
I
at
don't know
this.
what I'm doing here. Aye. Yes, aye.
Commissioner Rojas,
Aye.
Commissioner Murray,
Aye.
Commissioner Ross,
Aye.
Commissioner, I'm going to kill this, I'm sorry,
Chiato. Aye.
Chiato, okay.
Thank you, Tina.
Chiato, Commissioner Chiato. Motion passes 5-0 with your vice chair as Commissioner Rojas. Okay, currently we have 2 commissioners voted in for chair. That's Commissioner Chiata, and Commissioner Sanchez. Do we have a motion for Commissioner Chiata? I'm going to kill this.
I make a motion.
Is that Commissioner Ross?
Yes, yeah.
I'm happy to take the role, but I don't know if I'm allowed to motion in my own favor.
Yeah, yes, you can. Do we have a second for Chiata?
I second that motion.
Is that Commissioner Murray?
Yes, ma'am.
Give me a moment, please. So if we, I guess my question is, if it passes with Amanda, Rosalinda didn't have the opportunity either.
We got a motion in a second, right?
But I didn't get a motion in a
That's
second
on the
from.
floor, or right now it's on the floor. There's a
Okay.
motion in a second. Because there's a second, you gotta take a vote.
Okay,
If it doesn't pass in favor, then you motion and a second for the next one. If that doesn't pass, you gotta go,
I'll be through this.
it's kind of a theme.
Okay, you guys, I just had a question. And I don't mean to leave the people on Zoom out, but my question was, we have a motion on the floor for Commissioner Chiata. But I was just wondering how Commissioner Sanchez can kind of bring herself in if she's because she is interested in being a chair also. So that was my question. But anyway, so let's complete this motion that's on the floor. All those in favor for Commissioner Chiata to be chair? I'm going to do a roll call vote. We'll start off on Zoom up here. Commissioner Ross,
Aye.
Commissioner Murray,
Aye.
Commissioner Chiata, yikes.
You're doing fine. Kiato, aye.
Commissioner Rojas,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanchez.
At this point, I'm going to say aye.
It's weird because there's a second, you have to follow through. If there wasn't a second, then somebody would have to motion for either one. And nobody seconded. Then it wouldn't move through.
I'm actually okay with her taking it. No worries. Yeah.
I'm sorry, you guys. So we have our chair, a 5-0 vote for commission, our chair now, Chiata. Congratulations, Chair Chiata. So we will bring your name forward.
Thank you. And thank you for being so gentle through this process as we're learning. I appreciate that.
Yes, no, thank you for your guys' patience. Chair Chiata, if you would so call this meeting to order.
And I just do it just like that, right, Tina?
Yes, yes,
Okay, I call this meeting to order and I have to give the time, correct?
yes.
At 6:12 p.m.
The next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, and you can lead or you can ask either your vice chair or one of your commissioners to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Commissioner Sanchez, do you want to lead us?
Sure.
So the flag is right behind you, and then you just salute our
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Chair Chiata, do you have the agenda in front of you?
Yes, I do.
So our next step, when you do a roll call, no, I do roll call, huh? Never mind, I'm sorry, because we're still not here on Zoom. I'm going to go ahead and do a roll call vote so that now that the meeting was called to order, it's formal. Commissioner Sanchez? We're just saying here.
here. Now it's
Yes, now it's here. Commissioner Murray?
Here.
Commissioner Ross?
Here.
Vice Chair Rojas?
Here.
And Chair Chiata.
Here.
So the next thing you'll ask for the verification of agenda posting,
And I just ask just like that.
just like that.
Okay. Do I have a verification of the agenda posting?
The agenda was posted on June 4th, 2021 at the Hollister Community Center and City Hall per Government Code 54954.2.
Thank you. And may I ask, should I address you as Mrs. Garza?
Tina's fine, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then do I ask if there's any public comment?
Yes.
Is there any public comment?
No public comment at this time. We have no one here in the chambers and there's no attendees on Zoom.
Thank you. Tina, do I go on to new business?
Yes.
Okay. We'll now move on to new business. Number one under new business is mission and vision statement.
So the goal of our commission, we're a brand new commission that has never been established here in the city of Hollister. So with that, one of the things our council asked is that we create a mission or a vision statement along with our bylaws. So I thought if we create a mission statement or have ideas what we'd like to include in our mission or vision statement, then we can kind of move forward with our bylaws. Are there any thoughts to what we would like to include and what we'd like to foresee our commission be as we grow?
I do have something. I do like to add that, having an arts and culture committee would, for educational and economical reasons, we would need, to also bring culture to the little city that we have here. So something along those lines of, that like a mission statement and a reason.
In some of the information I sent out, a few cities have included mission statements or their vision of how they would like to see their commission be promoted or what their vision is. I have the city of Gilroy. So the city of Gilroy has they have an arts commission and then they have a public art policy. They're
Did you want me to share that on the screen? To for everybody to
yes,
see?
Paul will share the City of Gilroy public art policy so that you guys can see it on our screens. Sorry, Paul, you just keep talking. Yes. You'll see the vision statement, and it's their committee would like to promote a bold vision which amplifies the city's creativity and energy, shaping the visual environment of our community. That's one of them. We do have NAPA. It's not really their mission or vision. It's a purpose of their committee.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys like to see that one, or do you have that information in front of you?
I would like to see that, please.
Okay, we're going to put the bylaws for NAPA on there, and under section Article B, it talks about their purpose. Napa County.
Bear with me.
Article 1, is that it? Yes. We scroll down to B. Under B, Napa County kind of talks about their purpose, and it's to conduct and oversee grant programs and make recommendations. They talk about their board of supervisors, but that's under the county, and that's why it's Napa County, but ours would be under our council members. One of our council member, Vice Mayor Resendez, is really interested in us kind of creating either impact fees or something to go along with adding some revenue to our arts and culture events or arts artists in our community to where if they're painting murals or artistic type of things, events, then these artists would be paid through our either impact fees or something of that nature, or if it's a grant program. I know that that was one of the other goals too of our council. They feel it's really important. They felt that sometimes our artists get quote unquote kind of taken advantage of because they feel that it's just that they're not naturally they should go out there and just perform because everyone wants to see it. But I think that culture is changing a little bit, and I think it's kind of required. Rosalinda would like to speak on this. I'll let her finish, but
Oh, no, go ahead and finish your thought.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
It just kind of required to provide a stipend or something to help our artists. And that's important to some of our council members that we add that fee for these artists. But Commissioner Sanchez would like to speak also.
I just want to agree with that. I personally work with many teaching artists. In fact, we have three big programs going on in San Jose at Franklin McKinley, Alum Rock School District, and actually the third one is in Sunnyvale. And we make it our mission, if you will, to ensure that our teaching artists are not just being paid, but they're also being paid a living wage, because many of our teaching artists are defecting because they cannot afford to be here. And the unfortunate part is that they're often told, well, if you do that, we don't have a budget for that, but if you do this for free, you'll get exposure. That is the common thing that teaching artists are constantly being told, and it's just not acceptable anymore. So I absolutely just want to back what Councilman Resendiz brought forth.
So those are just a few ideas in our park facility master plan, which I just found yesterday. We also talk about art, public art in our community. It's kind of just very brief. It talks a lot about how City of Morgan Hill has a robust public art program. And the city of Hollister would like to model after Morgan Hill. So we just kind of want to get some feedback. I am not familiar with the city of Morgan Hill's art program. I do connect with the Parks and Recreation people. So after reading this, I reached out to Morgan Hill to see how they can help us. But that's just one city, and I'm just kind of here to listen to what you guys would like to do and how the commission foresees our progress in the future.
This is Vice Chair Anthony Rojas speaking. I just have a vision for this art and cultural to just bring, beautify the city. Art is trendy. You put art near places like the community center or restaurants in town. We'll probably see a boost in our economy. We want people to feel proud of where they live. And so, I know it might be rocky at first to try to get our funds together, but maybe we can do things at a volunteer basis at first, maybe start getting things together, start getting, monies from some area where we can start paying artists what they deserve. I have this vision of, we're not a big city like San Jose or Morgan Hill or Gilroy, but we can definitely shadow their art and, really make our city strong.
I guess I'm going to be pretty vocal, so I'm sorry, guys. I really believe in this. Technically, I believe our mission, at least the way I view it, is that given that we are basically as a community and as a society, as strong as our most vulnerable communities, I believe that the arts are more of an empowerment tool and a catalyst for change, specifically in our underserved communities. So what we want to do is give the community a platform to where they can tell their stories and where they can tell the story specifically of Hollister. I think that with the gentrification that occurs and that's occurring and that's about to occur on a really mass scale, we're already seeing it, that there is this need for, especially Hollister natives, the ones that haven't unfortunately moved away, for them to really tell their stories about what their town was, what it is, and what they want it to be. So I think that this commission's job, at least in my opinion, is to really keep an ear out on the street and see who those artists are that want to tell those stories, and that we simply just give them that platform to do so via murals or whatever means we can do through the arts to give the community a voice.
May I speak? Tina, may I speak?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry, Chair Kiat. So
Okay.
yes.
No problem. I had my hand raised, but I think it's like blending into my background there. This is Chair Kiato. I totally agree with you, Tina, and I think elevating the voices of our community is definitely on my radar too. And I do also agree with Chair Rojas that there is something really special about connecting arts to the economy and really showing how those two pieces connect. I do really like the vision statement for the city of Gilroy. And I also really like the kind of objectives section. I think this is Morgan Hill, as more of like a mission. And the reason why I like it is because it gives a really kind of comprehensive perspective with the language around encourage, foster, facilitate, establish, and maintain. And I think you could also add something about underserved communities or elevating voices. And I think what I love about this one too is that it really recognizes the artistic and cultural significance of our city. So it gives that individual voice. So I would advocate for kind of looking at those two pieces and seeing how we could tailor it to our own community and make it really special and unique to us. My second comment is about funds. The other piece that we looked at, it talks a lot about grant funds, and I'm not sure that implies that there's a grant writer. I'm not sure where these select funds are coming from, and I think in that paragraph it also says something about maybe a general funds or a certain pot of funding that those dollars are coming from. So I don't know if anybody else is aware of, like, in the future where we might see funds coming from, besides just like the general. I know we talked about. I know from the Arts Council's perspective, like some of those fees, those impact fees, or like a 1% tax maybe on new builds or things like that. But I don't know if there's any other information around funds that would put us in a position of managing those funds or things like that.
Commissioner Ross, did you have a comment? Commissioner Ross,
Yeah,
thank you.
sorry, I was muted. So really echoing a lot of what everybody's said, definitely creating the income, the revenue in order for us to fund these. I think that's going to make it sustainable. And it's going to validate and value the artists and the presenters that we have. I also would really like for us to look at the cities, at how they've how they've created art within their cities, you know, if we're pulling from them. So I know that Santa Cruz has art everywhere. And the colleges, the high schools, the schools, everything is all really integrated. And I think it'd be fantastic for us to make it something just as integrated here so that we feel that every part of our community is a part of this and they see success within themselves and each other. And it's not something that fades away. It's something this is the beginning of a really solid future, and just like believing in each other and supporting each other. I know Mendocino County, they also have a really vibrant art community there as well. So yeah, if we're able to kind of even just reach out, I did reach out to the city of Santa Cruz. And then I know they also have like the tannery. They have places that are for artists to live and work, things like that. Something to sort of strive for, not that we need exactly that, but just letting artists know that they're welcome and valued and they're part of the community.
I'm sorry. Vice Chair Rojas?
Also maybe perhaps getting public donations. Maybe people in the city might be really interested in knowing that we have an Arts and Culture Commission. May want to either donate their art of some kind or just donate to a fund of ours somehow. People can be very giving when they know it's something that's super impactful. That could be a possibility that I would like to see, a lot of community involvement.
I just also wanted to add that, I don't know what the city is looking at for like influxes of funding related to COVID and things like that. And if there's an opportunity to target some projects that can integrate the arts, but also solve, potential issues in the city that funding wants to go towards. I know we were in a conversation with Colin Kosmicki about the importance of roads and that being something that is just kind of on the forefront of the community's thoughts, and like how could we meet some of those challenges that other people are posing that maybe aren't in this sector, through the arts.
Commissioner Sanchez?
Are we talking about the mission still, or did we move into another topic?
I think we're kind of talking about a variety of things, but it all entails our mission to include, the beautification, connecting art to the community, empowering for change, kind of like what you said, the catalyst for change. And then how do we include, sponsorships, our grant writing. So I know there was a question on grant writing. Right now in the recreation department, I'm the grant writer. I did apply for a grant prior to our commission, but if awarded, then our commission would be involved in the selection of the artwork or the process. I think we applied last year and I think a few things were missing. So this year we turned everything in correctly. So hopefully we'll have a good opportunity. And it's called the Asphalt Art Grant, where we would decorate an intersection downtown, and the focus was a historical downtown area. So along with that, that's something that the Recreation Department would do. Impact fees was another one, but we'd have to definitely get with either our planning department or someone else. And Chair Chiato, that would be something that we would work with. Either you and I would meet and kind of discuss some of the things we'd like to see and do, and then bring in a Vice Mayor Resendez, because he has some ideas too. too. And I'm sorry, we would include Vice Chair Rojas also, just as the kind of the group, you two are the leaders of the groups and with the ideas, and then we reach out to the rest of our commission. But so those are some of the ideas. I think you guys, what I'm going to do is I would like to reach out to Mendocino County. That was Commissioner Ross. So I would like to do that. I just reached out to some local areas, counties. Napa is a beautiful area that includes wine and culture, kind of similar to Hollister. Santa Cruz, I did reach out to Santa Cruz, but I'll make a better effort to see what else that what did I write? Let's see, Santa Cruz, how they receive funding for their art. I think that was Commissioner Ross also. But with this that you guys gave me, I think I'm just going to create a draft for our next meeting and see. I do have to include kind of other types of things that are just general information on our different commissions within the city. But our mission statement and our purpose is definitely the commission here's responsibility and how we want to how we want the community to foresee us in the future.
And could we create like a working document for all of us to to build on that mission statement and purpose?
I will work with our IT department to create that.
Okay, thanks.
Tina, is the mission and vision statement something we're going to discuss over a couple of meetings and then adopt when we feel comfortable? Is that how you envision it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I foresee it taking a couple of meetings. We do not meet in July. It's a blackout month for us. So we'll start up again in August, but it'll give me plenty of time to definitely do some research and work with our chair and vice chair and see how some of our council members would like to incorporate arts and culture into the community, and then funding, of course.
Thank you.
Tina, may I speak?
Vice Chair Rojas.
Is it encouraged for us individually to kind of seek out other cities and towns, I guess, art and culture programs and whatnot to kind of get ideas or kind of get resources to bring back to our little commission here so we can, talk about possibilities of funding or how the way that different programs run, or maybe if any of those were interested to come out here and help us, out with is that encouraged for us to do that? Absolutely
Encouraged. We really, right now, it's not something we can do. Hopefully after June 15th, we'll be able to open up. But even if we reach out to different cities or organizations and they do a presentation, I mean, that's a start for us just to see their vision, see how they're managing, and they're able to bring arts in their community. And I really feel like Commissioner Ross, I think she hit it. I visit Santa Cruz a lot. I like Santa Cruz, and they do a great job displaying all their art in different ways, whether it's the statues or a mural or just a painting of the street. They're bright and it looks nice.
Right.
So yes.
Also, how do we reach out to the public? Should we create a Facebook group page? Is there going to be a person who is going to go onto the website of the city to kind of, you know what I mean? That way people have a way of reaching out to us with ideas, or how would we kind of connect with the public in that way?
As far as the website, our IT director, Paul, and his staff maintain our website. I think it's a good idea if we do have a Facebook for our Arts and Culture Commission. It's important to let the community know that there is a voice here with our new commissioners, and some ideas, and not just the arts, but the culture part of Hollister, which is very diverse in our community. So if it's events, I know it's all needs to be funded, but if we can kind of get some ideas and get started. As far as the Facebook, we have a Facebook under recreation, and I think I'll talk to Paul to see who can have access at this point. He said we'll make it work. So those are things that I will work on. Facebook accounts, Instagram. Is everyone do Instagram? What are the thoughts on Twitter?
I really like Twitter, but I mean, I don't know if we want to start with one and roll out, but I do think you get different interface through different platforms. And so it might be really exciting to, cast a wide net and have people be able to engage in the way that feels good for them.
Okay.
I think a lot of the time, a lot of events that we have in town, or a lot of people just don't simply know about it, right? So just the more that we can reach out to the public about these things, the more luckier, the more better chance we'll have with our commission, I think.
I send a lot of digital flyers to our different commissions. In the Recreation Department, we oversee our Parks and Recreation Commission and now our Art and Cultural Commission. So if that's a way to send you guys, send the commission a digital flyer, then we can post it. And the way our digital flyers are set up, you can post it to your Facebook. They're what is it called? Cropped, I guess. I don't know the term, but they're formatted to fit onto on the social media accounts.
I think that's a great way to build buy-in too, because I know sometimes when it comes to public art and people don't know about it, or they're surprised by it, they might not feel like it belongs to them. And so if we can build that buy-in, and especially like over the course of our kind of development in these beginning stages, and feeling like we really are representing the community's needs. So I think that would be really exciting. So thank you, Chair Rojas, for that recommendation.
I also think that it's a really great opportunity to get feedback from our community in regards to the events and maybe things that they would like to see. It gives them a platform to voice their opinions besides, meetings like this and whatnot. So cool.
Okay. Anything? Is there anything else? So I think we kind of rolled 1 and 2 together a little bit, Chair Chiaro.
Do you want me to call out new business 2 with the bylaws to discuss that? Or do you feel like we covered that?
I feel like we covered it, and I feel like I have some direction from our commission. I think the working document is a great idea, and I'll work with our IT department to see how we can share that with each other, and I'll start kind of putting some things together based on by the commission's recommendation.
And I especially love the idea of presentations from other cities. I think that's a great opportunity to take advantage of learning from other people's mistakes and successes, and So I would highly encourage that and be very excited to see how that looks.
Okay.
Would you like me to move on to number 3?
Yes, please.
Okay, new business number 3, designing a City of Hollister flag.
As we walk over to our city hall in front, there's 3 flagpoles, sorry. One that has the United States flag with POW, right? Yes, am I saying that right? Huh? Prisoner of war, sorry, you guys. Prisoner of war, and the other one that holds our state flag. And then the 3rd flag is our unity pole. And we'd like to design a flag that kind of represents the city of Hollister. And that would kind of be one of the first projects for our Art and Culture Commission. So we're just how would we like to do this? Is it a call out to our community and like an art contest, so to speak? Is there a commissioner here that feels, I know we have a couple of teachers that maybe feel like they can use the classroom as working with students, just different ideas. And I would just like some input from our commission.
One of the commissioners I heard earlier, I'm sorry, the name slips my mind, but that you're a local artist. So maybe if you have other people that you might know that maybe would be interested, or maybe getting the word out to the public, maybe a competition, maybe maybe having a youth, maybe someone from the high school, different ideas. I'm just throwing things out there that could possibly for the design of the flag.
I can.
We have Commissioner Sanchez.
So during the pandemic, we were asked by both Vice Mayor Resendiz and Mayor Velasquez, at the time our PTA, to get some art for a cross section behind Calaveras School that was supposed to take place, or a crosswalk. And what we ended up doing as a PTA is through our Facebook of all of our followers, we basically asked them to have their children draw sort of what their neighborhood looked like and what it meant to them. And we had them submit it basically to us in digital form, whether it was a JPEG or anything else. And we had a shared drive basically that we shared with the mayor and vice mayor, where all the families basically dumped in their children's art. And that was a way that we also were able to get the input of the families who actually live in the neighborhoods, where the art's going to be displayed by their own children. So that was one way we went about that.
Okay.
May I ask a question? Would this be a flag that is permanently adopted, like as the flag for the commission, or would this be kind of like a rotating, like every 2 years we would do another call for entries? Because I could just imagine, like Chair Sanchez was saying, like 1 year it could be a youth, an individual that's maybe in the younger grades, K-5, maybe it's a high school student, but also our local artists that are adults too. So curious kind of what the vision was around that.
I think that that's an excellent question, and I can see it giving the opportunity to a lot of different individuals, different artists that would like to display their art. But that's a question that I'm going to go ahead and bring to our administrative staff.
I had a few other questions as well.
Do you mind if I just finish with one last thought based on
Sure.
what Wanda was saying? Our Chair Chiato or Chiata?
Chiato.
There you go.
Again.
Okay.
Thanks.
That we also we called upon a local artist who actually went to Calaveras to work with us to create the art. That particular project didn't end up getting executed 100%, but we got to that point to where she was then made a part of the local kids' art, but she also graduated from Calaveras and is now a graphic artist and was going to do the art based on the kids' work.
Nice.
So that's how that worked specifically for that neighborhood. But of course, citywide, it can work in a similar fashion, but of course with the voice of the city.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
My questions were, is there a timeline on this?
I don't foresee a timeline.
Okay.
No, I think we kind of design it and involve the community. It's not a rush.
Mm-hmm.
I think that our Unity pole is very popular. I think that we'll have flags flying frequently up there, but it's important that, you know, we were asked to this be one of our top 5 projects to complete. So.
Okay. And then, I mean, I think it should definitely be a call for artists out to all artists in the community. So within the K through 12, and then also the teaching artists or just working artists in our community. As a high school art teacher, I can definitely make it an art assignment, but I don't think it should just be limited to, you know, to the classes that I teach or something. So I think definitely getting it out to everybody is important. Is there also, I know we've already talked about a question of funding. Is there a funding of is it a call for artists or is it a competition? If it's a competition, is there like certain funding for it for the winner?
If the commission decides that it's a competition, then we would seek either sponsorship funding or, excuse me, or I could request an amount not to exceed from our council.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm sorry.
Go ahead. But that's a good question, Commissioner Ross. And I think that at our next meeting, we should kind of make some of those decisions and vote on how we would like to move forward.
Should we also set, I guess, what we would like to see on the flag, you know, historic significance, you know, maybe something to do with the wines that we, or the wineries that we have here, maybe something to do with our farmers, maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe some ideas, some expectations, because I can just imagine a call and people will put all sorts of stuff. And we want it to stick to Hollister, right? We want to be represented. And so.
I was going to say something along those lines as well. Commissioner Rojas, I was thinking it might be interesting to do like a maybe just a citywide survey of like, you know, what makes us special or what are our kind of key elements that, you know, make us stand out. And I think some of those elements will come up, but maybe we'll find new things that we didn't think of, and then it would be generated by the community. But there could be another way to gather that information too. But I really like that because it'll give some parameters. You know, you have some constraints, but then you have a lot of freedom at the same time.
Tina, Commissioner Murray had her hand up for a while.
Oh, thank you. Commissioner Murray?
Oh, thank you. Actually, Christina kind of covered some of the questions that I had, but I do want to say that I support a call for artists. I think if it's going to represent Hollister, I'd like to have as many perspectives and ideas from our community as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I really like what Amanda was saying about keeping it kind of a general guideline so that we're allowing for all those other ideas that we probably hadn't thought of. And if maybe it's some way to say like how do we kind of bring make it like an inclusive sort of flag? Like, what are all of the aspects of Hollister? When you think of Hollister, what comes to mind, or what are the values? What do you see? What are your experiences?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just writing stuff down. Again, this gives me a lot of information to move forward. And next month, or maybe the middle of the month, I would like to meet with our chair and vice chair to kind of begin the process and narrow some things down and then bring it to our commission. Because there's a lot of great ideas. And I think I really see that all of our commissioners are definitely all on the same page as what you want to see the commission progress to. So those are good ideas.
Is there a way for all of us to somehow stay in contact, just in case one of us would like to kind of gather ideas, before we have our next meeting, so that we're a little bit more prepared with what we want to? Is it just simply just sharing each other's emails to each other, or how do we stay in contact so we can?
As a commission, once you're sworn in, you guys are allowed no more than 2 conversations. Am I saying that right, Paul?
Probably need
Let me.
Jason's opinion on that, but basically,
Okay.
I think it's, you guys can't be more than 3
Okay.
in a conversation, because then it could be a violation of the Brown Act. That's why normally they break out into ad hoc committee type of thing. But email conversations, I think I know with the city council, it's like onesies and twosies between staff. If staff can they can give an email to everybody,
All right.
but the council can't talk amongst each other.
All right, that makes sense. Thank you for
If that
clarifying.
makes any sense of it,
Yeah.
without a city attorney to tell you the exact rules
Right.
of that.
All right, just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and get some clarification from our city clerk, but I think Paul, our IT director, I think you kind of hit it. It is a violation of the Brown Act. But there's not saying, I think that's why I meet you, and we usually meet with 2, the vice chair and chair, or if, for instance, if our vice chair and Commissioner Sanchez has an idea, then we can discuss it and so forth. But maybe some of the ideas, either send it to our chair or our vice chair, and when we all meet between our vice chair and our chair, then your message can be delivered at that time or here at the meeting.
Tina, would you like me to move on to further commissioner comments, or?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, is there additional commissioner comments at this time?
If you don't mind, Chair Chiato, I'd just like to explain. This area right here is something it's not on the agenda. A commissioner would like to have a discussion about it, so they let me know, and I put it on the following month's agenda. Or if you saw a group of children at the McDonald's and they were, creating some art or something fun like that, you just kind of report it. That's a purpose of the commissioner's comments. At that time, you can just kind of discuss things that are not on the agenda.
Thank you for clarification.
So it's just kind of like for the good of the order, we're sharing.
Yes, that's
Okay.
a good way to put it. Yes, absolutely.
So I'm the what am I? The art club representative, not representative. What am I? I'm the, sorry. I'm the teacher that, you know, helps the art club. And so they're actually creating murals, and they actually, they will soon. They're creating 2 murals for the high school. And they definitely have this vision that they want to make it inclusive. They want art to go across the campus, across the community, across the city, across the county. So I think really pulling our students into this is going to be a fantastic way to really jumpstart our program here, our commission. So just wanted to say that. Thank you. I'm proud of them.
I actually have kind of a similar thing going on with some students in my community art classes. We're currently painting a mural that will be soon displayed on the side of the Youth Alliance building. And so I do really want to emphasize my desire to have more youth involvement in our arts, not only because it's an incredible experience, but because I feel like it gives them some ownership over their community and makes them really feel like they're part of it and they're part of the beautification of it. So I love that you're doing that, Commissioner Ross, and I'd love to see more youth getting involved.
I guess I'll speak as well. I echo everybody's enthusiasm for bringing in the youth to, you know, be a part of the story they want to tell in their community. So my husband and I, we own an arts academy here in Hollister where we serve kids essentially from 6 to 12 years old. We have some adult students as well. But our bulk are essentially between 6 and 12 years old. So if I'm always open for collaboration, I'm incredibly community oriented and always believe that the community should have a voice in everything that goes on, specifically here in Hollister, you know, those that, you know, I find that a lot of Native people from Hollister really want to tell this really cool story. And I think that we should really be, even though we're inclusive and we should absolutely be, just continue to bring up the voices that normally don't get to speak. And so this is what we impart with our students at our academy is to be able to do that, empower them to be able to do that and give them the tools to do that through the arts. And so if anybody is interested in collaborating in any way for any projects, you know, our doors are open. Thank you.
I just have another, I guess, a question. I hope this falls under this category. So what are our limits, I guess? I guess everything's new, right? So we don't really know, but what are our limitations on what is considered art? And if we do something that maybe outside the realm of what people consider like paintings and statues, how does one maintain it? So I'm thinking like San Jose, they do a lot of light displays, art, you know, beautiful light displays. How does the city also, how do we manage that? Who pays the bill for that light to be on, and who maintains it? And, you know, I guess that's my question, is how limiting should this art be? You know, because a mural doesn't take much of maintenance. It's already on the wall. But I would like to see art in many forms around the city.
Okay. I think that that's a great question. And for instance, when it comes to some of our recreation type activities or programs, if budgeted, then the city kind of maintains, our recreation department maintains our activities, our equipment, the program in itself. As far as the different types of art, we can do it several ways. The way we set up, if we are awarded our asphalt grant, the way it's set up is we have a separate fund, and the artist that created the main lead would go out there and kind of maintain it, but the city would pay for that artist to maintain it. So those are good questions, and I think that's something that we'd like to kind of implement into our bylaws or our code of conduct. I think in here I included the city of Hollister adopted in 2016 a public art policy with the San Benito Arts Council. So there's some information in there, and I will check it again. I don't recall reading the maintenance of it or who pays for maintaining it, but I will double check it.
I also know that some displays are only up for a short period of time as well. It's not up forever. So if we do decide to do a plant display or a light show or something, it doesn't have to be up, permanently. It can be up for a short period of time, which in turn would hopefully bring more foot traffic because people would want to see something like that, I think, for the limited time that it's there. So just a thought.
Yeah.
One of the things I noticed in the City of Hollister public art policy, Tina, was that which I hadn't been familiar with this word, the de-ascensioned artwork, like the policy would be a part of the acquisition. So how it would be maintained, who would maintain it. In this instance, it looks like the city would dispose and things like that. But maybe if the pot of funds are coming from different sources, maybe that maintenance, care, or disposal of could take on different forms. Like in one instance, it might be the artist's responsibility, or if it's maybe particularly like Vice Chair Rojas was saying, something that's more about like semi-permanent installation versus something that's permanent to the city. Maybe they would take on that primarily, that primary responsibility.
Okay.
May I add something to the commissioner's comments
Yes.
section?
Yes.
Okay, I was just going to kind of echo the group. As part of my work with the Arts Council, I'm really excited to be partnering with the Hollister School District on their summer school program this year. And we have, seven school sites that are going to be creating collaborative murals with teaching artists, local teaching artists in the community that'll be student-led. That'll represent each individual school community uniquely, which will be very exciting and hopefully be a beautiful welcome back for the new school year. In addition to that, 2 special day class sites at Mays and Sarah Vista will also be creating collaborative murals. So we're really excited to be working with all those students this year. And that'll include the 2 middle schools too, which I'm happy to see those middle school students getting those programs as well.
Chair Chiato, how do we find more information about the Arts Council? This might be the first time I'm hearing about it.
Oh, no problem. We're at www.sanbenitoarts.org. And there it'll show like programs, partnerships, initiatives, things like that. And you can reach out to our executive director, Jennifer Lane, too, if you want to learn more.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chair Chiato, can you also talk about, I know Jennifer had mentioned a art tour within the downtown area. Are you familiar?
I probably can't speak completely to that, but I know that I think as part of the public art work she was doing with the city, they created a map with the Downtown Association that had all of the public artworks and some descriptions about those pieces. And it was kind of a self-guided tour.
Okay.
So, but I can maybe share some more concrete information about that at our next meeting.
That would be great. I'm going to go ahead and add that to the agenda to see how we can kind of bring our community out and look at some of our local artists, because I don't think our community is very familiar with that public map. And I know I wasn't. And when she showed me, I was amazed. So it was interesting.
Maybe possibly this is also an idea that I'm just throwing out there, but as things start opening up, maybe having like some sort of get together of different local artists that can maybe introduce themselves, showcase their work, the kind of interests, the kind of art interests, and that way the commission could also go out there and, meet locals and kind of get their contact info so we kind of know who to contact and, tell them when we have our meetings so that they can join, the public. So that's just an idea that I had as well.
Yes, I think sharing, once I send our commissioners the agenda, just kind of sharing the information with some people that might be interested or want to have a voice, and then they can attend or they can come connect to Zoom, and we would send them the link.
I know for the from the Arts Council's perspective, that I think they've been doing an art tour for maybe 11 years, and usually in July, where local artists will open their studio spaces, sell their artwork, maybe do some craft talks or demonstrations and things like that, and artists from all different mediums in Hollister and then, countywide. But I think also I've heard of many initiatives through different networks about more just like community of practice networks of artists and people that are just interested in the arts, art supporters. So I'm curious how that kind of network of individuals, whether it's via Zoom or via Zoom intermittently with in-person work, could kind of support the work we're doing and bring visibility and input from the community in that way also.
Well, I definitely think this is a good start for us, and I'll be busy. July is a dark month for us, but I think that I'll be working on a lot of art and culture items. But I'm excited. That's why I, asked to take on this project. So it's a good time right now for us.
Is there any reports? Are there any reports?
I do have a few that I'd like to talk about. At yesterday's city council meeting, Councilmember Burns had asked at the skate park, it has a lot of activity and it's a beautiful park. There has been an abundance of graffiti, and sometimes when our staff goes out there and covers up the graffiti, it's in different shades of gray or beige or green. So I from what I heard, Councilmember Burns is a painter, so seeing those different shades is really affecting his eyesight, I guess. But just long story short, he's asking us to maybe do a call for artists and create a mural at the skate park, or create something to where we'll be able to continue to keep that park, beautify the park through art, and keep some of the graffiti away from it. The other concern is you create the art and then they, the people right on top of it, and then we're trying to clean that up. But that was one of his ideas, and he asked that I take it to our art and culture commission. I talked briefly on the asphalt art in March. The city applied for a grant. It would be painting an intersection at 4th and San Benito. It's kind of where our historical downtown area started. And we were just we would do another call for artists if awarded that grant. And the continued maintenance has been budgeted from the recreation department. And of course, I'll follow up if we were awarded the grant or if we were denied. This next item is more for our cultural side. September 16th is Mexican Independence Day. And some of the organizations that we partner with, LULAC, and some of our council members have asked that our commission come up with a Mexican Independence Day event. So I would just ask if you're interested, let me know and we can start the planning process now. And if, because by our next council meeting, I have to fill out a public assembly permit. So I just, if you're interested in the planning process, just email me back sometime this week. And then my last one is in July, Recreation celebrates Park and Recreation Month. And the past few years, we've been working with the San Benito Arts Council to include art in the park and science in the park. But the art in the park, we partner with the Art Council, and they provide a local artist who kind of brings in and has some activities, and it's free to our community. This year, we're trying to hit different parks. Typically, we just kind of stay at Dunn Park, but some of our community members asked us to kind of travel. So we'll be going to McCarthy, Dunn, Valley View. Oh gosh, I think it's either Tony Aguirre. So we'll head over to this side of town to do arts. This year it's going to be a little different. Jennifer, actually, she's the executive director for the San Benito Arts Council, asked if we wanted to include some sort of different types of dance. So I thought it was a great idea, and I let her know that one of our commissioners has a studio. I called it a studio. I wasn't sure what it was called at the time, but that you had worked with us. Commissioner Sanchez's group worked with us for the Cinco de Mayo, very small celebration. We put it together in 3 days, but it worked and it was wonderful and it was a good beginning and it created some great partnerships. So those are some of the things that Recreation Department will be working on within the next few months. And those are just kind of the reports that I give to update our commission on what we're doing with arts and culture.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you. Do we take comments, or if anybody wants to add anything after that, Tina?
You can, yes, absolutely. If you guys would like, if the commission is in favor of seeing another type of culture event, we can work on it. We can consider it. And, I would just do my research. Or if you have ideas for the park mural, the skate park mural, planning for Independence Day, or the July's Parks and Recreation Month.
I had an idea for the skate park mural. If we had maybe a graffiti artist come and educate, and there is a lot of like graffiti code and respect of the art that's there, and so then if artists can come, people who are interested in creating graffiti art, it's created and it's there, and then it's built on this understanding that you actually don't graffiti over anybody else's, and maybe that could kind of educate people and build respect on the art.
Thank you for that information, Commissioner Ross. I had no idea, but I think that's a great start, and kind of letting our youth know, or just a community member. It might not always be our youth that's defacing property. We just kind of make that assumption sometimes, but I think it's a great idea. And if maybe we can work together to do some outreach, it's a start. I think it's important to educate our community.
I think that's a really lovely way too to honor the art of graffiti, because there is kind of a fine line between it being vandalism and it being a true art form. And I think maybe giving some graffiti artists a platform to display their art where it's not vandalizing. Sorry, my daughter's sense to me. I think that it would be a really nice opportunity to give them a platform to display their art. So
I also have a comment on the skate park. I want to back what both Commissioner Ross and, I'm sorry, Victoria is her name? last
Murray?
name?
Commissioner.
Commissioner Murray have said. And actually, it is statistically proven that murals are less vandalized than basically an open regular wall with nothing on it. My son actually skates. He's an avid skater. And when we first moved here, I went with him everywhere. And one of those places with a skate park. And so I'd kind of hang out with him because yes, there was a lot of things going on that, he's 12 years old. So it was just, got to hang with them and be with him. And so, but throughout, our time there, he met a really cool community, a lot of really neat kids. And I learned that the park had been dedicated to the memory of a boy named Daniel Yetter, I believe, because he passed, unfortunately, during a skating accident where he hit his head. I guess he wasn't wearing a helmet. And so there was also some talk. We did a story along with Robert Eliason about the state of the park, where a lot of the skaters were interviewed and sort of asked about the safety of the park and how all those patches actually are dangerous for them. Like they either slip on them or their wheels get caught on like the different layers of the paint. So there's also a safety concern there, among the skaters themselves. But we talked about potentially the idea of, contacting someone to say rememorialize, maybe do some, an actual event where you recall why that park is there and why it was memorialized to this young man who died tragically. And then, yeah, of course, with the artistic, backing, I think it's a whole new sort of rebirth for that skate park.
If I can speak really quickly, at yesterday's council meeting, our council adopted a program and it's called Adopt a Park, Trail, or Landscape. And with that, I recall reading the article and there was a group of parents that were interested in kind of adopting it. So there's that opportunity. If you don't mind, you can email me their information or just have them call the recreation office. I would say by next week, I just have to kind of put the packets together and get the resolution number on there and so forth. But there is that opportunity to adopt a park and make it. Yes.
Thank you.
I also really like the idea of including performing arts with a lot of this, especially with the Mexican Independence Day event. I think that would be a fantastic opportunity to bring our performers, musicians, dancers. I think that would be really awesome.
I'm not familiar with the art in the park. Is that something new you said, or is that something that always happens in July?
It is an event that happens in July through Recreation. We belong to the National Recreation and Parks Association, and they just have a national event where, we celebrate July as Parks and Recreation Month. I think art and culture is celebrated in April, so we'll do that next year. But throughout the month, we just kind of do fun activities, and then we end with a fun run. I think it's the last Saturday in July. That's how we kind of end our events. Summer is really busy for recreation. School's out, so they're looking for some fun activities to do.
I'm sorry, I'm going back to the light thing because that has been a really hot art kind of thing this last couple of years. Just art shows throughout San Francisco, San Jose, Morgan Hill, different different light shows, maybe during maybe a weekend in July, maybe have a nighttime like thing at a park where there's lights everywhere and maybe people can get together, you know, parents and children, just something different. That's just an idea. It doesn't, because parks, you think day activities, right? You think, the running, you think the picnics, you think the sprinklers, but maybe something intimate at night, interesting, something fun to look at, take pictures. Just an idea for the July Park and Rec Month.
Now, I think it's important to include, I know there's a lot of information and articles that are coming out on arts and culture, because I did reach out to our NRPA organization, and it's a new trend, like you said, and they're working on some more information.
Is there any further comments, or do we want to set the next meeting date?
There are no comments here.
So the agenda says August 10th, 2021. And they're all going to be at 6 p.m., right, Tina?
Yes,
Okay.
I'll include that on the next agenda.
Okay. If there's no further comments, we can adjourn the meeting at 7:26.
We just need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I make that motion.
Commissioner Ross?
Yes.
Sorry.
Also pass that motion to adjourn the meeting.
Chair Chiato, Vice Chair Rojas seconded that.
Okay. So the meeting has been adjourned at 7:27 p.m.
As we're still on Zoom, I do have to do a roll call vote.
Okay.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Here.
that you approve the adjournment of the meeting.
I am still here.
She's still here.
From that. Yes.
Yes. Commissioner Murray,
Aye.
Commissioner Ross,
Aye.
Vice Chair Rojas,
Aye.
and Chair Chiato.
Aye.
The adjournment passes 5-0. Thank you, everyone. And I will, if you guys please have anything, email me and let me know your thoughts and ideas, so that we can start moving forward. Have a good evening.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
But